house. Big Zeus, here's the big round. Big Zeus, go up to the gate at 1600 on the map. People's house, I make it like a trap. Floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team.
Greetings.
Voices on the block, I'm breaking through. I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner, and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big on a big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They paint it right, yeah, but the stain.
All right, let's get this show started. We had a software update, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. Oh, we'll get through it. All right, let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. We don't got all morning. It's gonna be an abbreviated show. Don't worry, we'll get you in and out of here as quick as possible. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like a curse, and I can't escape it. It's like deja vu. It's me, Zeus. It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my graph. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Let's go. Let's go. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Good morning, VIP. All right, nice to see you. All of you, actually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. It's my favorite part of the song. Let's do it. Let's do it together. All right. I do this for all of you, to be honest. Here we go. Watch this. Here we go.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live and
It's a lie. It's a lie.
Shit was
Keep it clean.
radical. It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off.
Oh.
It's like deja vu.
You see how that goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Deja vu. It's like deja vu.
Oh my goodness, wow.
It's like deja vu.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host, I'm your pilot, and you know, once again, while we're all gathered here, we have to do the incredible work that it takes to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons who we all understand are hell-bent on trying to destroy this great country of ours, and we'll get into that in short order, but before we do, let's take care of some very, very important housekeeping items. For those of you, this might be your first time listening to me, Big Zeus. You know, or you may have followed me in after I've invaded red spaces and just delivered crushing blows, defeat after defeat to these MAGA demons. But go ahead and take care of it. I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. Very, very simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. No one more honest than me, all right? I just give them the truth because they need it. The second H is because, well, it's because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first one to apologize. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings get hurt doesn't mean that I owe you an apology. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a good example. I was in Brother Dame's live yesterday, and he had a very, very strong demonic, actually several demonic forces in there. And they were just saying so many negative things about people. I mean, you know, we're all people, but they had some real negative energy about immigrants. And I just told them about themselves, and they told me I was attacking them. And I said, no. It's not an attack when you're being accurate and descriptive, all right? If you're evil, you're evil, all right? But that's how honest I am, all right? And if I'm wrong about it, if I'm wrong for calling these people evil and hypocrites and liars, then you know what? I'll apologize. But Most of the time, it's not that I'm wrong. It's just that their feelings are hurt. All right. And so that's why I say I'm humble because, I'll apologize if I'm wrong. But in this case, it's not that. It's just that your feelings got hurt because I told you the truth. And that's a W Zeus, right? That's a huge W Zeus. And she knows who she is. She knows who she is. And then the last and most important H out of all of the H's, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of the ones that's undeniable, irrefutable. It's because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. And Eugene, you know that. Eugene knows that. Nutty does too. Now, like I said earlier, what we do is very spectacular, magical, theatrical, sensational, incredible, all of those things to describe greatness, right? We hold a mirror up to Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons who we all understand are hell-bent on destroying America, destroying them. These people that support Donald Trump, I'm really at a point now, spiritually, mentally, to a certain degree, where I understand it's probably best I don't talk to them, and it's best that they honestly just take their behind whooping like a man or a woman. Marissa, because I'm at a point now where I'm just like, I'm not getting anything out of interacting with you. All you're doing is showing me you're a terrible individual and the truth is not in you. And you once again retreating to your safe space. Zeus, where's the safe space? It's not, well, Donald Trump's safe space is Lie Central. He calls it Truth Social, but I call it Lie Central. But MAGA's safe space is perpetual victimhood. Am I right? W's in the chat for Rick. Perpetual victimhood. And what I'll say is this: if you're one of those people out there, you talk a good game. These people out here, they talk a good game, ladies and gentlemen. Then I'm going to say this: you might want to leave this show right now because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you. I promise you it will. But get this: you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
If you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Good morning, Joe.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they've officially closed. I take no responsibilities for how the sparks start to fly. You know, it is what it is. We're all adults in here. Good morning, Kabira. Good morning. Yeah, so I'll speak on it because a lot of you don't often get to engage with me off the show. I go on my backup account, Mr. Crossing, right? And I use that account to go and confront the demons because they'll never, a MAGA demon knows their place in the kingdom. They don't ever want to get up here and face judgment, all right? And I can judge MAGA demons because I'm certified to do it, number one, and I'm really, really good at it, all right? I can expose their hypocrisy in record time because the moment a Trump voter opens up their mouth and says that they stand for anything, they know we got them dead to rights, and that's a huge W Zeus. So, before I go into a little bit of the content, I just want to address something. I was in Dame's Live yesterday, and I never got any answers about it, but there's two moments in there that it's just really, I want to call this out. One, there was an individual in there, I'm not going to mention her name, but she hated immigrants. She hated immigrants. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, she presents as a sister. She did this. She did do this. I know. I'm being honest. It's a safe space to be honest in here, right? It's a safe space to be honest, right? And so she's on there telling me that I'm wrong for advocating for, people to be treated fairly no matter who they are, immigrant or not. I don't care. Everyone knows most of us in this country are immigrants at one point. If you go down your family tree, go down your lineage. So she's really pushing the line. Then another MAGA demon gets up there, and unfortunately, it was another sister. It was. So it's like two sisters. And Dame. And I'm sitting there advocating, immigrants, they do incredible things in this great country of ours. Look at all these companies that are being founded and developed and ran by immigrants. You're on a Chinese app, like, relax. You can't go this hard against immigrants. No, Zeus, I do it. Get them out, get them out. So then there was a sad moment where I think her name, I forget what it was, but she was of Latin descent. All right, she gets in the box, and I would have thought she would have gotten in the box and actually said, hey, you guys, I'm an immigrant and I'm in America, and I believe that as long as I'm not breaking the laws, I should not be getting treated this way. But she didn't do that. She got in the box, and she grabbed onto white supremacy, and then she just lifted it up in ways that I never thought she could lift up white supremacy. So I have 2-3 people of color in there bashing immigrants, and then I got an immigrant in there, and the thing they all have in common is they're all just holding up white supremacy, using all their strength. Zeus, I'm an immigrant. I got kids. I live off of my husband, and we're doing it the right way. And then all these other people, they're coming into the country, and they're just leeching off the system. And I'm sitting there listening to it, and this is why I got to do this. This is God's judgment, and I ignored all the hate they were spewing at me, and I said to the ones that were very angry about immigrants being in the country, I said, now, could you please tell this woman of Latin descent, who's clearly an immigrant, she identified herself as an immigrant, tell her to go back to her country. That's what I told her. Tell this woman right now who's sitting here, right here, standing along you, she's upholding white supremacy. Tell her what you were telling me earlier. Tell her to get her behind out of the country. You know what they did, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, I don't have to take orders from you, Zeus. I don't have a problem with her if she's in the country obeying the laws. This is what they did in record time. If she's not breaking the laws, Zeus, I don't have a problem with her. I'm like, well, earlier you just said you don't like immigrants coming into the country, taking all the resources away from black people. But now we have an immigrant in here who's upholding white supremacy with you, and you don't got that same smoke for her. You got it for me because I'm calling you out on your lies and your hypocrisy. And so what I'll do is this is what I'm talking about when I say it's master manipulation at work with these folks, ladies and gentlemen, especially the conservative folks. They talk a good game. But the moment you ask them to put it into play, put it into practice, these folks get radio silent, quiet as church mouth. These folks ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. And what do we do to hypocrites on this platform, ladies and gentlemen? You know what we do. I want to warm up the lake of fire. And this goes to Brother Dame. You run a good zoo. I'll give you that, bro. I've never seen a zookeeper like Brother Dame. I've never seen one in my life. But y'all a bunch of hypocrites. All right? If you really don't like immigrants, MAGA, don't be associating with them on this app. And I don't care if they're Trump voters or not. Do your thing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send them where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence.
Nothing.
Yeah. MAGA.
Nothing grinds my gears right now. So, and I'm going to ask that all of you in the audience who follow these creators on the internet, right, that claim they're MAGA and they claim they're tough on immigration, they like that border closed, make sure you hold them accountable. If you ever catch them talking to people who have immigrated into this country, say, no. Don't have them in your live doing none of that stuff. Y'all can't be free. I know how you feel about them deep down inside. You don't like them here in the United States. So don't be cozying up with them on TikTok. Don't get up here and start cozying up with them because guess what? Oh, we got Donald Trump and white supremacy in common. No. Live by your word because actions speak louder than word. But you won't do that, all right? You'd rather go around here and pick on Big Zeus. And that's another W. That's another W for Big Zeus. I give you another example of these folks out here. These folks talk a good game. I gotta give it to MAGA. Y'all talk a real good game. Y'all talk tough. But when we ask you to back up what you're saying, you just can't bring yourself to do it. For instance, I'll show you another example of what I mean. I show you another example of what I mean when I say back it up. All right, let's see, ladies and gentlemen. How many? Oh yeah. You know what they got out here right now? You know who that is? Y'all know who that is? Does anybody know who this is right here? Does anybody know who this is right here? I hate to even put this disgusting creature's face up. Y'all know who this is? Does anyone know who this is? Trump's buddy. That's a good answer. Jeffrey. Let me go ahead and do this for MAGA real quick. It doesn't take long. Sure.
If could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
I could literally, if I wanted to, I could have this live going for an hour, 2 hours straight, asking, and any Trump voters want to come out here and have a conversation, they won't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. What MAGA? You're running out of hiding spaces. Y'all don't want to talk about white supremacy. Y'all don't want to talk about racism. Even though you like to bring up the border, it's crazy. You don't want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. What do y'all want to talk about, MAGA? Y'all don't want to talk about the economy no more? What does MAGA want to talk about now? Y'all just want to run around and show people y'all could be very hateful and evil people? We already know that about you, MAGA. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got MAGA dead to rights. They've lost their hero, Charlie Kirk. They've lost their hero. And none of that would have happened under Joe Biden. None of this stuff would have happened under Joe Biden. MAGA is literally in a state of chaos, and we got them dead to rights because it looks to me, and it even looks like it to AI, that they're protecting a P3DO ring, and the evidence is just slapping them all in the face. And I keep wondering, where's all that tough talk, MAGA? Look at this guy. Leftists are violent. You think so? You think leftists is? You see? Come on up here, lie. It's interesting. Come on up here, lie, if you don't mind. Other than that, I'll just ask the mods to dispose of you conveniently. That means put you in a straitjacket. I don't need to entertain that. If you don't want to get up here, again, this is an example of what I'm saying. So much tough talking in the comment section. Well, bring your tough behind up here and show us how tough you are against P3DO rings. Show us how tough you are against Donald Trump's failed economic policies. Show us how tough you are against being anti-racist. If you're so tough, oh no, I can't be tough on that. I only could be tough on Big Zeus because Big Zeus. What one lady actually got in the box yesterday in the zoo that I went to, and she said, "Zeus, it's people like you on TikTok that get in the box." This is what she said, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you, BB. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's people like you. Nutty, Q Dog, and she wanted to list them all. I know that make me feel like I have to be mean to black guys because you all run around here accusing, and she's a white woman. Y'all run around here accusing us of being racist. And I said, wow. I said, thank you for letting me know I make you feel comfortable being a racist, and that's a huge W. That's a huge W to Big Zeus. Let me say this to you. If I make you so upset because I get on TikTok, no one's paying me to do this. I'm doing this because I genuinely am concerned about the way things are going in this country. But if what I'm saying to you bothers you, or you hear what other people are saying, and this is one of the most diverse communities on TikTok, because it's really not about color. It's really about people who just love this country. But if what we're sharing with you in terms of our experiences, it scares you, it makes you feel so scared that you turn into an evil person, then what that tells me is you obviously need to wake up and get out of that so-called privileged place you've allowed yourself to be in and get out here in the real world where folks are actually literally fighting for their survival. That's why we want access to health care. That's why we want people to get paid fair wages. That's why we're okay with people getting treated fairly. All right? Because we've already went through the experience of being, basically manipulated and taken advantage of. But you don't want to do that. You rather stay in your comfortable spaces. So what I'll do is this, and she knows who she is, ladies and gentlemen. They'll always paint me out to be the boogeyman. All right, because I get out here and I call it for what it is. But I'll take that if that means saving this great country. So let's send that MAGA demon straight to hell too. I can do that. W. Kamira. Like for instance, here's somebody, MAGA, that y'all don't want to talk about, and this is Adam Kinzinger. And what is Adam Kinzinger talking about? He's talking about the guy in the background. I promise you, MAGA will hear this, and the only thing they could possibly say is, the Democrats didn't care about Epstein. It's the only thing they could say. Hold on. I got you. Oh, yeah, here it goes.
All right, guys, listen. We need to have a talk.
Go ahead, Adam.
Donald Trump knew. Donald Trump was part of it. It's obvious. Everything, all the signs are pointing to it. Okay, listen. He's now threatening any Republican that signs the discharge petition, which is like the thing that forces the Epstein files for a vote on the floor of the House of Representatives. He's threatening them. Why? Why did he promise to release him and then all of a sudden freak out? Why did he have the FBI count the number of times his name appeared in the files, by the way? Why did he just move Ghislaine Maxwell, who's like this guy's main accomplice, to a really nice federal prison? Why did they cut a deal with her? Why is she now having concierge service, which came out this weekend? He's promising her either commutation or pardon. Because he's in the freaking files and because she can put him down. And now this information's coming out and more. Guys, obviously Trump is in the files. Obviously Trump knew Epstein. And obviously this is what happened. Listen, he sent him a birthday card with a drawing of an outline of a naked, certainly not a big older woman. And it said, our little secret, our little secrets. And then he claims he never wrote that and that was fake, even though that somehow you would have to go back in time to create that. And we know Trump lies about everything. So now you have one choice for those that are still defending him. Either you have to admit that anybody associated with Epstein is a dirty son of a b, and you've got to turn against them. Or you have to say, yeah, I'm willing to make exceptions because this guy hates the same people I do. And if he hates people with blue hair like I do, then guess what? He can do whatever he wants to children. You got to quit watching your little, trafficking DVDs and getting all angry about it if you're willing to defend this guy.
W. Adam Kinzinger. And he's not even a Democrat, MAGA. So you can't even use the excuse, oh, it's because he's a Democrat, he only cares. The writing's all on the wall. And instead of admitting y'all got a serious problem right now in your party, y'all will continue to go around and try to destroy this great country of ours. And that's Adam Kinzinger. Yeah, let me go ahead and give you something from Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I want to start in a place that I don't like to start with,
Marjorie.
but everybody wants to know what's going on with this Epstein stuff. And there was some news about the Democrats releasing new emails. Anyway, I don't want to tell you what I think. I want to know what you think because you matter
This
more.
is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What do you think about this information? What is this going to get a big reception on the Hill? Is the discharge petition going to pass?
Great question. Well, as you know, my name is on the discharge petition, and today the speaker is supposed to be swearing in the new Democrat member of Congress that says that she will be signing the discharge petition. So that will create 218 signatures to release Thomas Massey's bill to release the Epstein files. But I also serve on the Oversight Committee, and I'm involved in our investigation on the Oversight Committee into the Epstein files. And we have already had a lot of information been released to us. So much information that I haven't made my way through all of it yet. And I actually have a meeting today about those emails that the Democrats had released. Those were emails I had not seen yet. The one thing that I will tell you is over and over and over again, the victims, the actual victims of Jeffrey Epstein have said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. And I think that their voices speak the loudest, and those are the women that I'm listening to. And I look forward to seeing them again. I think we're planning to have another press conference next week.
And I want to stop right there. I got to give it to Marjorie, and I'm giving it to her because she signed the discharge petition, and she's still standing up to Donald Trump. But I think Marjorie's playing some real kind of mind games with Donald Trump because all she's saying is, hey, Donald, you're not in them. You're not in the files. I'm going to go along with your lie. Let's go ahead and release those files. But deep down inside, I know Marjorie knows what type of time it is right now with Donald Trump because that's why she signed the discharge petition. That's why she didn't allow him to manipulate her into taking her name off, just like Lauren Boebert didn't. And so MAGA, this is why, and I'm playing two people who are Republicans first because you can't use your excuse about this being a Democrat hoax, MAGA. Any Trump voters out there? Anybody out there still supporting Donald Trump, listening to what these Republicans are saying about Donald Trump in the Epstein files? Anybody out there still supporting Donald Trump? I'm just double checking because okay, yeah. Now, babe, don't get it twisted. I don't trust Marjorie at all, but you got to give credit where credit is due. She did sign that discharge petition, and she is trying to speak out, and she has to hold her position of bashing the Democrats. But I can live with that. What I want is I want those files released. I want those files released. I want those files released more than anything because everybody knows what it does. It spells the end to Donald Trump's presidency. It does. It really does. And MAGA knows this. We know this. Trump knows this. You saw his press conference that he gave after he opened up the government yesterday? No questions. He doesn't want to answer these questions. He hates it. He hates it when the media is only talking about his best friend, his supporters. They hate it when this is the one thing that we're all talking about because there's no excuse. There's no more excuses now. Listen, somebody sent me something yesterday. Somebody sent me something, and they said, Donald Trump is cooked. And some of you may have heard it. Let's see. What is this, ladies and gentlemen? Let me see if this. Oh, yeah. This is, and this is this. How many of you remember Katie Johnson? How many of you remember Katie Johnson? And this is old footage. This is old stuff. MAGA has done an outstanding job sweeping it under the rug and saying it was all hearsay, it was fake. But when you are now, what is this, 9-10 months into the cover up, these words hit a little different. But listen up, MAGA, and this is why I say it ain't the Democrats saying this. Oh, I'm lying, Lifetimes? I'm lying? Come on up here. Come on up, lying. Come on up here. I said,
Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter. And she said, well, she's 13 as well. So he knew the first time that he saw me. But he comes over mad because I was crying. And he said that I should be thankful that someone like Donald Trump took my virginity. Or he basically didn't say took my virginity. He said, I should be glad that someone like Donald Trump popped my cherry and not some pimply little 14-year-old. And I just was like, what if I said, what if I get pregnant? Not even talking to him. I didn't want to talk to him. I was talking to Tiffany. And he said, well, you'll get an abortion then, bitch. And then just walked away.
Still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Lifetime. You think I'm lying? You think these women are lying? You think all the women who've accused Donald Trump are lying, don't you?
I think they're lying. I think that was just a setup by Joe Biden.
Democrats, huh? Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I mean, prove it.
Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I do.
Let me ask you a question. Do you say stuff like this to them?
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
You say that about your kids?
No.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
You think that's funny? You think that's a sick joke? You think that's just Donald Trump locker room talk, huh?
Is that AI?
No.
That's not AI.
No. You know Donald Trump.
So how can you prove that he was on the files?
Lifetime. I've already covered this. Maybe this is your first time listening to it. Back in May, his Attorney General Pam Bondi met with him and told him his name is all over the files. And if you've been following the news yesterday, emails came out, and guess what was in those emails? Donald Trump's name. You remember that?
I didn't see it.
Oh, so you didn't remember what came out yesterday when Jeffrey Epstein referenced Donald Trump and said he's the dog that hasn't barked? Or he pointed out that Donald Trump spent hours alone with one of the victims. You don't remember seeing any of this yesterday?
I didn't get to see it.
Oh, but you were so quick to call me a liar. You see how this works?
So what does that mean?
That means you don't have all the information to make a bold claim that I'm lying. Number one. But then number two, it shows that there's a lack of concern, a lack of genuine concern about Donald Trump and his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Like
So
I can at least say this: I don't have any criminal evidence to say Donald Trump broke the law yet. I don't, but I have a lot of questions at this moment. And if I were somebody that supported Donald Trump, I think you should be at the point where you have a lot of questions too, based on your morals and your beliefs, so to speak. Because I asked you, would you allow your child? Do you talk to your daughter like that? I don't know if you have a daughter or a son, but I asked you, do you talk to them like that? And you said no. So I'm assuming you're a man of character.
right. So I mean, if this is true, like I can't support this anymore. You know, I can't. I mean, that's not. I believed in full heartedness that he was a good man, and you know, I'm starting with what you're saying. I'm starting to believe a little differently. Uh,
I genuinely respect that, Lifetime, and I'm not going to do a number on you, all right? Because it's really at a level now where I'm disgusted that I have to spend hours and hours of my day, when I'm not on TikTok, going through some of the most disturbing content and information that I've ever had to go through in life in order to get out here and share this stuff out here. You know how much hate that I catch from people who support Donald Trump? And it's not just me. A lot of us Democrats, we catch a lot of hate just because we're Democrats. And I'll be honest with you if you don't mind. When I first heard about the Epstein stuff that MAGA was doing, I literally considered it to be another hoax from the right, and I really didn't invest that much time in it. You know that?
right.
I
I
ignored
mean,
it,
because
and
I believed everything that the Democrats were bad, that they're not even in the interest of the people. And if this is what you say is true, like I don't know,
well,
but
there's uh-oh, I got a little warning and a notification, but we'll keep talking. That's the thing that a lot of people who are doing things that are bad like to do, right? Whenever you're trying, and I've done it before, especially, if I was in a relationship, when you don't want to get caught, you'll make it look like it's them doing it, not you. But at a certain point, the rubber meets the road, and you got to become mature enough to actually start taking accountability for your conduct. And this is where we're at as a country. It's not so much Donald Trump anymore. I know Donald Trump will never take accountability for his conduct, but we're really at a very interesting point where we need people like yourself that support Donald Trump to go independently verify this information. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm gonna go look this up. But if this is true, and I see, because I feel stupid.
I
I
mean,
feel
and I'm glad you at least acknowledge that, because the reason that I am at this level, because I'm a nice person, right? I'm at this level now because we're at a point where you go, what else will it take? Where is MAGA's red line? All this tough talking at the expense of these victims, these survivors, it needs to end. If you really do stand for what you say you stand for, then you know what you got to do in terms of supporting Donald Trump. It's time to drop it.
Yeah, if I do the research on these Epstein files and I find
Yeah,
out that.
look up, please. Go look up New York Times. They've published it. It's all over internet, pretty much. You need to go look up the most recent emails that have came out. New York Times, they've published it. It's all over internet, pretty much. You need to go look up the most recent emails that have came out that have been released. Guess by who? By the Democrats. Okay?
Okay.
Now hold on. One of my good friends, I think she wants to chat with you real quick if you got a couple of seconds. All right, and hopefully it doesn't go too. She won't do that. Hi, Kabira.
Hey, good morning, Zeus. Good morning, Kingdom.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Lifetimes.
Hello.
You know what, Lifetimes, everybody says, look it up. And so, one thing I found out about the internet is whatever you like, it takes you to that particular source. right? So I recommend, this is my recommendation. That way you don't have to worry about it being shaded. You know how you go to like maybe a 7-Eleven or Arco or Circle K, and they have the newspapers there. Pick you up a newspaper. Because and I don't mean the Inquirer or Star Magazine, because that's just riddled with gossip. But I mean something like the New York Times or USA Today News or your local newspaper. You know, like back home in San Francisco, it's the Chronicle or the Oakland Tribune,
Yeah.
right, or the San Jose Mercury News. They will actually have the news there. And that's one thing people don't do anymore today is pick up a newspaper. And I know it sounds kind of old fashioned, but sometimes I even pick up a newspaper because you'll find things in the newspaper that they won't report on the news, or depending on if you like Fox or MSNBC or CNN or whoever, you're going to gravitate towards them, right? But if you go straight to a newspaper, it's there in printed word. So it's like, you know, when I was a kid, I never did like watching the news up until I was about 14.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, guy, if you live in the world, you have to know what's going on, right? You really do. Otherwise, you just following blindly. You're following the crowd, and whoever makes you feel good, that's the way you're going to go. So that's just my advice to you. You know, Zeus is telling you right. People here in the kingdom are telling you right. You know, one thing I found out, when people are lying, they get to carrying on and yelling and cussing. You know, now you already lost your argument.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? So that's all I had to say
right.
to him, Zeus.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Kabira.
pick me
All
up a
right.
newspaper.
Oop, okay, thank you, Kabir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my good friend Kabir. No lies detected. All right, so Lifetime. Here's the thing. I think where we're at is I'm assuming you've never. This is not your first time seeing me, but I'll issue you this. If you go look into the stuff that I've talked to you about this morning, I'll be willing to apologize if what you find out I'm wrong about. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yep, fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Lifetime. Let's give him a round of applause. I mean, and honestly, it's conversations like that, ladies and gentlemen, that I actually look forward to having, really. I mean, you know, I do a great job being the Rizzler, so to speak. You already know I'm the Rizzler. There's nothing that get past me. But if you have an opportunity to help folks understand, then you should totally take advantage of it, all right? And that's a huge W. Zeus. Thank you, Lady Boss. Do we have anybody else, any Trump voters out there that want to get in the box and actually have a serious discussion about what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein? Because that's where we're at right now with a lot of the Trump voters right now. They don't want, well, most of them, I guess, they've basically said, we don't want to talk about racism because it's race baiting to them. They don't want to talk about the economy because, you know, Donald Trump's not doing well with that. They don't want to talk about the military strikes in the Caribbean and the war crimes that might be getting committed because, you know, he's not polling well in that. They don't want to talk about immigration. They don't want to talk about anything other. So I'm picking the topic. It's Epstein Day. It's Epstein Day, MAGA. Please get in here, MAGA, and tell me what's going on. I'll bring up somebody else real quick, but what I'll do is this. So you could go and here's another thing to do. You could go to use your AI tool, right? Use your AI tool. And I asked it, and I said, do you think Trump is secretly, because this is one of MAGA's narratives, do you think Donald Trump is secretly working with the government to go after people who traffic children, right? Please give me your unbiased opinion. And this is what I'm going to read, because I know this is a lie. Based on the available evidence from public records, official statements, DJ, I hope you're listening to this, and recent developments as of yesterday, there's no credible indication that Donald Trump is secretly collaborating with the government to prosecute individuals involved in child trafficking associated with Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, the documented actions of the Trump administration suggest a pattern of resistance to full investigations and disclosures in these areas, which undermines the plausibility of such a covert effort. To elaborate further, during Trump's first term, his Department of Justice, they did oversee the 2019 arrest and prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein, as well as the subsequent trial of Ghislaine Maxwell in 2021. However, these were public actions pursued by federal prosecutors, not evidence of secret involvement. In his second term, which began in January, the administration has taken steps that appear to limit rather than advance Epstein-related probes. For instance, the Department of Justice abruptly terminated the criminal investigation into Epstein and Maxwell's co-conspirators in January of 2025, transferring case files from the Southern District of New York to DOJ headquarters in Washington, D.C., and formally closing the matter in July of 2025 with a memo citing insufficient evidence, despite nearly 50 survivors having identified at least 20 co-conspirators through detailed accounts provided to prosecutors and FBI agents. This decision has prompted demands from congressional Democrats, including House Judiciary Committee ranking member Jamie Raskin, for explanations from Attorney General Pam Bondi regarding the rationale for halting the inquiry. So what you have is you don't have evidence that Donald Trump is secretly, working with the government to get more people. So there's no deal. There's no deal with Ghislaine Maxwell because they go, well, maybe Ghislaine Maxwell is getting preferential treatment and he's secretly working with her to go after these people. No, that's not what it is. You could go look this up. That's why I'm encouraging you. And Kabira, you were right. Then you could go ask AI, ask it, why do you think Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a minimum security prison and reportedly given preferential treatment? Give me your honest and unbiased opinion. And I'm telling you all this so you could go try it on yourself. And it says, based on the available evidence from official inquiries, whistleblower reports, and public statements, I believe Ghislaine Maxwell's transfer to a minimum security prison and the reported preferential treatment stems primarily from apparent political influences within the Trump administration, potentially as part of a quid pro quo arrangement linked to her knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's activities and her preparation for her sentence to be commuted. You see that? It's literally playing out in front of our eyes. He's trying to commute the woman. Ralph, you could go look this stuff up yourself. So the question now, MAGA, is where do you stand on this issue? We're going to find out through this discharge petition where a lot of y'all stand. And once we know where you stand on that'll say everything, because actions speak louder than words. And so what we'll do is, that's a huge W, Zeus.
If you're in a mood to thank someone,
hold on,
whose job is to find us the best. Melissa Ryerson, for the last several years,
I want to get this real quick,
who is an attorney for hundreds of the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, join us on this program. That night was Amy Schuster's idea, and telling us about sending a subpoena to the Epstein estate was Brad Edwards' idea.
Yeah.
Announced right here on this program. I didn't think that up. I never would have thought of that. And so, yes, Congress issued the subpoena that produced these emails because Brad Edwards suggested that they do that on this program, and Congressman Ro Khanna, who was the next guest on this program that night, immediately said on television that night that he would take up that suggestion.
Yeah.
And then he helped lead the charge
that part
for the subpoena issued by the House. A Republican-controlled House. A Democratic member of the House of Representatives who gets the idea of issuing a subpoena to the Epstein estate on this program and then brings that idea into a Republican House of Representatives and prevails and manages to persuade the House of Representatives controlled by Donald Trump's loyalists to do something that has the potential to not just crush Donald Trump as a politician, but depending on what else might be revealed in the Epstein files, and as a result of this subpoena, maybe Donald Trump's presidency could come to an end. Maybe Donald Trump could become the second president to resign the presidency, the second Republican president to resign the presidency. How bad can this get for Donald Trump? We have no idea, but he does. Donald Trump knows exactly how bad it can get because he knows everything about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He knows everything that is or might be in the Epstein files or in the possession of the Epstein estate that could be damaging to him. He knows.
One of the great challenges in this world.
Yeah. Pie guy, are you okay? Pie guy, are you okay? I didn't know you're getting triggered.
And we see the way he's behaving about this. This might be the worst of it. What we've discovered in Jeffrey Epstein's emails today might just be the worst of it. And if it is, then Donald Trump can probably survive this. But Donald Trump himself is making an all-out effort to stop the release of the Epstein files after these emails were released today.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has made the judgment that what remains hidden in the Epstein files must never be seen by anyone. And that is why he had Congresswoman Lauren Boebert in the White House today, hoping she would be convinced to take her name off of the discharge petition, which she had already signed in the House of Representatives. She did not bend to that pressure. The discharge petition has been officially filed after getting its 218th signature today.
Good
when the
job.
newest member of the House of Representatives.
Why would he try to get Lauren Boebert to try to not advocate for the release of the files? No matter who it is, Adam Kinzinger, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Zeus, Lawrence O'Donnell, the conclusion all arrives. It converges to the same truth, MAGA. Y'all got a serious issue on y'all hands y'all got to deal with. This isn't going anywhere. The government shut down. Okay, whoop-de-doo, that's came and gone. All right, okay, you think the Democrats lost that? Fair enough. But we're back. Okay, whoop-de-doo, that's came and gone. All right, okay, you think the Democrats lost that? Fair enough. But we're back to where we needed to be with this serious issue. Because nobody wants to be led by a man that is, says Epstein was a terrific guy. Nobody thinks a person like that should be allowed to be the leader of the free world and not face consequences. I don't know what planet you are on or what planet you come from where you think it's acceptable to have to be led by somebody that may have done something or be covering for people who've done just some of the most evil and vile things. It's never going to be acceptable. All right, so what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire because these Trump voters, they don't want to get in here and really have conversations about the unimaginable stuff that's going on in their party. And so what we'll do is, since they don't want to face judgment by coming up and talking to us, we'll take care of it all at once. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these Trump voters where they belong. Straight to hell. Yeah. I got it.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W's just, thank you, W Lady Boss. All right, I got 5 minutes and then I got to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I told you it's going to be an abbreviated show, I know. But tomorrow it'll be the full show again. All right, who do we bring up next? Oh, yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'll bring them up. All right, good morning, Nutty. I think it was Nutty. Nutty, are you there? All right. I thought it was Nutty. All right. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. And DJ's here and he's listening, but he's afraid. Go ahead. Just keep that in mind.
Well, I don't care about him, but I want to do something different. So after I got off your show on yesterday, I got a lot of feedback in my comments, in my DMs, because the going thing out there was that I was coming after Val. I want to make one thing clear. Val is somebody that I respect immensely. Yeah. But here's the difference. Even though Val and I politically are on the same side, he and I can have disagreements.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about, MAGA, that you all need to become critical thinkers. Because someone is on the same side as you doesn't mean that you're going to agree or you have to agree with everything that they believe in.
True.
My issue with what I was saying yesterday was not about what Val said. It was about trusting the Republicans.
Amen.
That's what I was talking about when I said, Val, I told you so.
But Nutty, in all fairness, you and I don't agree on my handsomeness. But
Well, we know the
and so
truth. Yeah.
everyone knows that by now. I mean,
Right.
we don't necessarily have to agree, but I think what you're saying is, for the most part, we align, and that's what matters.
But see, at the end of the day, Zeus,
Yeah.
there is a level of respect there that we will never cross because we respect each other,
True.
not only just as human beings, but as men, where we can disagree.
Maybe with that and Val, but you got to cool off on getting at the handsome stuff. You really, because sometimes you've been very, very disrespectful, Nutty, and I could bring up what happened with you and Bounce in that one time, but I'm not going to do that. But please keep going.
Well, I'm sorry, Zeus. I'm sorry that Bounce just got in the live and just told the unmitigated. She had the unmitigated gall to just tell the unequivocal truth. So Bounce, you keep telling the truth, my sister. You just keep telling the truth. So we'll just move past that because Zeus. I see his face and his feelings could get hurt, and that's the whole point of me saying what I'm saying today. This is my brother. I ain't trying to hurt my brother. My little brother knows that he can never compare. He can never reach to my status. He knows this. So
I've asked Nutty several times to. Do
I
have to?
send me to hell?
Because I've asked you over and over to contain the Antifa demon, and. Do you have it under control, or do I need to help you out with it? Which one is it, bro?
But listen, I want to get back to that.
Okay, I'm glad you and you should apologize. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nutty just apologized to Big Zeus. There's nobody more handsome than me, and please don't allow people like this to ever try to poison your mind with nonsense. Nutty, please stick to doing what you're good at, bro. Stick to doing what you're good at, and you're not good at that.
Let me finish talking to my brother Val.
Okay.
He and I can disagree on things. It doesn't mean that I have any less respect for him at all.
Yeah.
I just happen to disagree with him on the 7 Democrats and the one independent that voted to open this government. It wasn't about wanting to get people paid because I'm one of those federal workers.
Fair enough.
It wasn't about that. It was about trusting the Republicans who do nothing but lie. Why in the world did they take us through 43 days of a government shutdown just to cave and come out with nothing? And now look what happened. Now 8 senators are going to get almost $1 million because they had part of January 6th and they were being investigated.
Sad.
Because the Republicans snuck that into the bill to open this government. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot trust the devil. And yes, anyone who wants to call themselves a Republican, I'm calling you a devil. I just did it. I called you the devil. So there's that.
W, Nutty, and that's mainly the MAGA Republicans. All right, I believe there's some decent folks out there that are Republican. But again, Nutty and I can disagree on that again.
This is the disagreement.
Yeah.
Because at this point in the game, there is no decent Republican. Because if you're still identifying as a Republican, you are the problem. This is why I take what Takesha says about being called a Christian. That's why I've changed my language, and I don't call myself a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ.
Fair enough. I'll give you
It's
that.
been hijacked so much that I can move away from the name. It's not even about the name. It's about action. What are you doing to show that you are a follower of Christ? So, my Republican friends.
Yeah.
In an effort to be nice.
Thank you.
In an effort to be nice, my Republican friends, why do you keep calling yourselves a Republican when you do not agree with what is going on in our nation? Why won't you stand up and call a spade a spade? That this man is demented, he's the devil, he is Satan, he is all of the above. Any negative adjective that you can come up with, he is that personified.
Yeah.
So y'all can stay out of my comments.
Val and I are fine. If Val had an issue with me, not only does Val have my DMs, Val has my phone number. And I know the type of person Val is. He would have called me and be like, yo, what's up? He would have called me. And we would have duked it out like men. And then we would go right back to being friends, because this doesn't define our friendship. In fact, it enhances our friendship because, listen, we can disagree, but there's a level of respect.
That part.
And I respect him. And I'm done with the conversation now.
Yeah.
But yes.
It must have got real nasty because you said you had people in your DMs. Oh, my God. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Isn't this the Thunderdome? This is a Thunderdome. I tell everybody before the show gets started, grab your shields, all right? Because the sparks are going to start flying, but we're all adults. And so, but what I'll say is this. Thank you, Nutty, for bringing that up. And yes, no matter what.
The last thing I want to say before I get out of here. See, Zeus, I keep giving you credit, even though you keep coming after me. I keep giving you credit because you're completely different from me, because I'm at a point to where, you know, Ange said about a year ago, the gloves are off.
Yeah, I remember.
My gloves have been off, and I can no longer find niceties.
Got it.
So for you and Kabira, I love Kabira, by the way.
Yeah. Amazing.
To talk to Lifetime with compassion, the devil is a lie. Because how you gonna call me a liar and you haven't researched a doggone thing? You cannot call me a liar and you don't know what the heck is going on because you're living under a rock. I'm not gonna be nice. Don't call nobody a liar when you don't have the information. When you don't have the facts. When somebody has to school you and tell you to go pick up and find your own research. You sounded like you're 80 years old. You know what a newspaper is. So you may not know how to Google, but you know how to read, hopefully. So don't even. That's why I was like, no W's in the chat for Lifetime, because he called Zeus a liar without having the facts. When are we going to stop this mess? It's nonsense. I'm not going to hold the hands with the devil with people who wants to get up here and call you a liar without doing their own research and without have any cognitive ability to research for themselves and to think for themselves.
Yeah. That's Nutty, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
He's right. We're a different breed, but that's how he feels. That's how Nutty feels. And again, I mean, I can't say any lies. I mean, because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't call somebody a liar if I didn't know, what they were talking about was to be true or not. I wouldn't do it. So yeah, W Nutty, ladies and gentlemen.
It's one thing to say, hey, I need more information. I don't quite believe what you're saying because it sounds out there. I don't believe that. That's one thing to do it that way, but to outright say you're lying. He outright said you're lying. So therefore, you called me a liar.
He did.
Because if I'm lying, I'm a liar.
True.
And the last time I checked, you didn't look like Donald Trump.
I sure don't. I look a lot better. I don't have that thing with the neck going on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Zeus, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Fair enough.
I'll give you that one. But I'm done. I'm out.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Nutty. He's partially right about some things here and there. All right. So give him a round of applause. But he's wrong when it comes to the handsomeness and all those other things. And never believe him when he says stuff like that. All right. Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Big Zeus. Y'all like the neck? No. It's a disgusting neck. And y'all came up with some nasty names to describe that neck. If you could put them in the comment section, go ahead. Put it in the comments. How do you describe Donald Trump's neck? I can't say it on TikTok, but you can. W Zeus. Y'all got some, look at these words in the comment section. Look at how they describe that neck. Woo! W to the chat. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. You all deserve a huge, huge round of applause. I appreciate it when you're able to work with me when I do quick shows, seriously. Thank you to all the subscribers. Wow, ladies. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad if you're a government employee and you're able to get back to work, congratulations. You should have never been involved in this to begin with. You were innocent in all of this. A special thank you to the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists, because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. Entertaining, engaging, and definitely very, very educational. But I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and this goes out to the Zeus haters, the zookeepers too, the Zeus haters and the zookeepers, and they know who they are, and they're strange, evil, demonic creatures that they that they use to make money running the zoo. This is what they do. They go and find some of the wildest creatures that support Donald Trump. They bring them into the zoo, and then they put them on display, and they charge people an entrance fee, right? And these people, this is stuff you see on TikTok, and you got to laugh when you see it. These zoo creatures, they get out here and they hate themselves, they hate the country, but they swear up and down they know what they're talking about, and then they hate Zeus. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending them where they belong. Where are you sending them, Zeus? Where are you sending those zoo creatures and the zookeepers and the Zeus haters? Where they belong. Where do they belong? Straight to hell! Get out of here. I don't care.
Silence, you knocker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Take care, stay safe, have a great, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Gotta wake the chain up. Get injected with some power.
Thank you. Rizzler time.
Came from the trenches, now we ballin' at the top. Rizzler energy, presidential, watch the ox. Zip too saucy, got
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
1600 on the throne, out here looking
WVIP. Thank you
for attacks, make these clowns pay for all the shade. Also lose no mean, got the game in a choke. Yeeted the doubt, now my legacy hitting is bespoke. From the Bay to DC, I keep them on their toes. Level up with the blueprint, watch the empire grow.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your morning. Keep up the good work. Oh, shout out to Afton Bain, Tennessee. Remember Afton Bain, Tennessee. Vote for her. We need more Democrats in the House. But they cannot touch the throne. Posted in the Oval Office, trapping in the zone. Spurred past the hate, got my foot on the gas. I'm bulletproof, yeah, my aura is built to last. Presidential flex, got my game on my necklace. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Drip too clean, get it poppin'. We ain't gon' never stop.
We won't, seriously. And they know what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Posted in the Capitol, moving like I own the block. Riz game presidential, got the nation in a lock. 100, no facade, drip celestial, shining brighter than a star.
Thank you, Lady Boss. 1600 Pennsylvania, you're right, Queen. Carmen, you're right.
But they folded under all the pressure. 1600, I'm the one flexing, I'm the new successor.
Wow, I come up with stuff like that.
Trap soul in the White House, DC is the town. Woke up in the mansion, views from the East Wing. Prime presidential, residential, got the poles in a climb. Turn the calm in the storm, got the world dropping bombs like I'm reading out of Psalms.
How did I come up with that? That's great.
Unbreakable, skibidi through the storm, legacy unshakable.
Wow.
Hey, make the whole world flip, bust it off the charts, got the game in a trance. Drip too wavy, yeah, make you wanna dance.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. 1600 Pennsylvania on the way. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets.